Humans as part of the divine cosmos question. In old dramas or historical stories, we often see high monks observing the stars and saying things like, "Someone has been born," or "Someone will die." I'm curious about the relationship between humans and the stars. Could you please explain that? Answer. Yes, in the past, people often looked at constellations. We see that a lot in historical dramas. Those are based on ancient times, specifically during the era of evolution. There was a way of perceiving the world during that evolutionary period. Nature operates by its own laws, and humans evolve in parallel with those natural movements. In this universe, this great cosmos, there are countless stars. Within them exists the solar system, and within that, there's Earth. On Earth, we live and exist as beings who are moving in harmony with nature. Just as nature operates, human evolution follows the same process. So when people observe the heavens and say that certain things will happen, it's because everything is connected to humans. That's why those events occur, because they are linked to us. So how exactly are we connected? The creation of heaven and earth occurred because of us, because of elemental beings, or gods. When these gods became impure, their impurity set things into motion. That movement influenced nature, and that in turn caused immense energetic changes in the natural world. If I were to explain all of this in full, it would take too long, so I'll summarize. We, as humans, currently possess a physical body that is a part of nature. I am a part of nature. All divine beings are a part of nature. All matter is part of nature. Now take this finger, for example. What is it? This finger, made of cells, is essentially a particle. What kind of particle? An atomic particle. Atomic particles come together to form this finger. Atomic particles are invisible to our eyes due to their tiny size. When they group together, they form things like cups, various objects, and matter. This is what we call material energy. Material energy comes from atomic particles, and those particles can transform into different elements. Everything, including water, is composed of atomic particles. In this universe, everything exists in the form of atomic particles. As those particles change, they create different substances. So even the human body is made entirely of atomic particles. If we were to break it down, it would become invisible to the human eye. Now, the human being is a fusion of atomic particles and elemental energy. Elemental energy is non-material energy, and atomic particles are material energy. The fusion of these two is what makes a human. What about a dog? A dog is made only of atomic particles. Cows, frogs, every living creature is made of atomic particles. But only humans are made from both atomic particles and non-material elemental energy, which is why we are uniquely called humans. What are these atomic particles? They are incredibly small subatomic particles, which, through the intense heat of the Big Bang, formed and grew in number and size into what we now understand as atomic particles. Science didn't create this. It's simply discovering what already exists. Scientists are uncovering things and assigning names. These atomic particles already existed. Atomic particles are God's cells. God's cells can transform into anything. We are cloaked in God's cells. That's why we're all connected through frequency. People expect God to appear in churches, but in fact, you are wearing God's particles. Everything is interconnected. Humans have come into the world cloaked in God's particles. So who is this being inside you? It is what we call the elemental energy, a divine being. These divine beings are energy. The material energy is God, and the non-material energy, these elemental beings, are us. We created this physical body in order to manage the elemental energies. So, if you stray from the right path, this physical body can be twisted. When it is twisted, your soul, which is connected to the body, also feels pain. If you live wrongly, your body will suffer. The body needs to absorb material and function properly. But when it's tied down and can't do that, that's suffering. That's how God gives punishment. Is it out of hatred? No, it's to awaken us. Do parents hit their children out of hate? No, it's to make the child reflect on their mistake. When a parent hits a child's leg, the parent's heart hurts more. Still, they do it, for the child's sake. People tend to explain God according to their own logic. But now is the time to truly understand who God is. It's not about asking for blessings. Since God protects us, we must study what we are meant to do on this earth. That is what we call the way of life. In the end, living that way of life and leaving the world as an enlightened being, that is what it means to be a divine being. The connection between humans and the universe. Simplified summary. 1. Why did ancient people read the stars? In the past, people predicted events like births and deaths by observing the stars. This is because humans and the movements of the universe are deeply connected. 2. Humans are part of nature. We don't exist separately from nature. We evolve and move with it. Earth, the solar system, and the universe are all interconnected. 3. What are humans made of? Our bodies are made of tiny, invisible particles called atomic particles. But humans are unique because we also have non-material energy, called elemental energy, or divine energy. This is what makes us special. 4. What's the difference between humans and animals? Animals are made only of atomic, physical particles. Humans are made of both atomic particles and divine elemental energy. 5. The universe and God. All atomic particles in the universe are like God's cells. Everything in existence was not invented by humans, but discovered. God isn't somewhere far away. His energy exists within us. We are living beings who are wearing God's energy. 6. Why do we experience pain or suffering? When we live wrongly or selfishly, our physical body suffers. This isn't punishment out of hate. It's a way to help us wake up and learn, like a parent disciplining a child out of love. 7. What should we do? Instead of only praying for blessings, we should ask, why did God send me here? What am I supposed to do with my life? Living with that awareness is called the way of life. Those who live this way become enlightened beings. They become divine. I wrote the story based on the above articles, The Child of the Stars. The night sky had always been there, but not many looked up to see it. Even now, under the city lights, only one person stood quietly, watching a single flickering star. His name was Ian, a high school student. From a young age, he had a sense that others didn't. Whenever he gazed at the stars, his chest would thump with a deep resonance. Sometimes he could feel emotions flowing from the constellations, like someone had just been born or had just died. That star's flickering. It's not random. It's like it's speaking. His friends laughed it off, thinking it was just his imagination. But to Ian, it was real. One night, he had a strange dream. He was floating through stars, and a voice echoed all around him. You are a child of the stars, born with the energy of the divine. Do not forget your life has a purpose. You were sent to awaken the world. After that dream, Ian's senses became sharper. He could feel where people were hurting, not just emotionally, but physically. He heard lies not as words, but as static, disruptions in the flow of energy. One day, a girl named CHEON collapsed at school. Everyone panicked, but Ian instinctively placed his hand over her chest. A warm pulse radiated from his palm. Her breath steadied. Her face regained color. At the hospital, the doctors were baffled. Her heart had stopped, but now there's no damage. This doesn't make sense. Ian was overwhelmed. He needed answers. In his grandfather's attic, he found an old handwritten manuscript. Humans are mirrors of the heavens. It read, humans are not just flesh. We are a fusion of atomic particles and elemental energy. The divine is within us. We are part of the stars. Suddenly, everything clicked. His dreams, his abilities, his pain. He wasn't a miracle. He was a messenger, a living antenna, receiving messages from the universe through his human form. But truth comes with resistance. Soon, they appeared, a group calling themselves the Keepers of Order. Humans must not awaken the divine within. You threaten the balance. You must be silenced. Ian ran, but deep down, he knew he couldn't hide forever. He had to live his truth, not in fear, but with purpose. That night, he climbed to the top of a mountain. He opened his heart to the sky and cried out, to the divine within me, I will live your truth. Show me the way. The stars responded. A wave of light cascaded through the sky, and Ian's body shimmered. He was no longer just human. He was both star and soil, divine and dust. Epilogue. Years passed. All over the world, others began awakening. They could feel pain in others, heal with their hands, speak without words. Some called them children of the stars, others, the next evolution. But Ian left only one message. We have always been divine. The stars are not far away. They shine in your heart.